June 14th, 1997, Idaho Falls, Idaho. We are looking at the main stem of the Snake River at the unexpectedly high flows of the river. The water is lapping the underpinnings of the Pancari Bridge. The levee on the west side of the river here is substantial, but the water is lapping near the top. What has controlled this river since 1957 is the Palisades Dam. The Palisades Reservoir is brimming full, and the Bureau of Reclamation has no choice but to let the water flow over the dam at its natural course. This year we had unprecedented precipitation in the mountains of up to 150% normal rainfall, or snowfall, and now it's all melting. And the Bogger family has come down to the Snake River to observe the spectacle of high water, which no one has seen here since the Teton Dam broke in June of 1976. Just below the main bulb turbine plant of the city of Idaho Falls, we have an interesting stretch of whitewater. Idaho Falls' existence is due to Matt Taylor's bridge building effort in 1863. This was the logical crossing of the Snake River for those destined for the gold mines in Montana. And what we're looking at is a replica of Taylor's Bridge, which was constructed last year, 1996, and is now part of the green belt here in downtown Idaho Falls. And again, because of the extremely high water, the bridge is closed to foot traffic. The main bridge in Idaho Falls, the Broadway Bridge, looks to be in peril with that very little bit of clearance as the water thunders underneath. The Union Pacific Railroad Bridge is firmly abutted in the basaltic lava rock, and from the foundations of the original railroad bridge we look across the span to the east side of the river where the development of the town took place. You can see how the green belt is flooded with high water. The outflow of the bulb turbine plant provides for cheap energy for us City of Idaho Falls residents. And it's certainly proving to be an abundant source. On this west side, before the residential and motel development built it up, there really wasn't too much other than warehouses. These trademark early buildings were all built out of the lava rock, the natural resource of the area. The west side of town has the potato warehouses, and potatoes are only fetching $1 a hundredweight. It's amazing they're still shipping them though. A couple of rail cars getting loaded up with spuds. We'll go for a little walk up River Parkway, which is closed to automobile traffic because of the high water. This is the namesake, Idaho Falls, named for this rift in the Snake River. The water is so forceful, it's covering the falls up. Previous to 1890, the town was named Eagle Rock. And before that, Taylor's Crossing. The Bureau of Reclamation measures the flow of the Snake River in cubic feet per second, and they take a measurement at high C, which is upstream, and the measurement currently is at 40,000 CFS. 24,000 CFS is considered flood stage, so you can see we're well above flood stage. Russian olive trees like a moist environment, not a soaking wet one. Shall we take a walk along the footpath? I don't think so. The flow here is considerably more than 40,000 CFS because it doesn't take into account the fact that the North Fork or the Henry's Fork joins the South Fork or the main stem above here. So here we have the combined flows of the two forks of the river. My, we're having a field day. Here we are on Motel Row. My first visit to Idaho Falls was in 1979, and I stayed in the West Bank, right up there on the top, in a snowstorm in November. The annual precipitation here in Idaho Falls is about 12 inches a year, making it a semi-desert climate. Never know it from what we're viewing today. Across the way is the LDS Temple in Idaho Falls. Normally this is the most impressive drop in the falls, maybe 20 feet. The bike path is now duck path. There was talk about removing these ducks a couple of years ago. That didn't go very far because these guys have made their home here and they're a permanent feature of the Snake River Greenbelt in Idaho Falls. Who says they aren't as entitled to this area as we are ourselves? This area along River Parkway is kind of low in relation to the river, so it is sandbagged. The dam break of the Teton Dam sent water cascading through here in 1976 at 79,000 cubic feet per second. What we have is a little bit lower than that. Still pretty impressive amount of water coming through here. That's the top of a park bench out there in the river. Hi boggers, how are we doing? This is one of Linda's favorite walking routes, about 2 miles and some, circular around the river. Oh, in the shallow end of the pool. We have swimming lessons today. Kiefer's Island, so named for Fred Kiefer, one of Idaho Falls pioneers, who lived in that log cabin out in the middle of the river. We're headed up towards the Johns Hole Bridge. In a catastrophic flood, the Johns Hole would be the last bridge to fail because it's highest up from the water line and abutted on both ends by deep basaltic bedrock. This is a gauging station along the New Sweden Canal, which parallels the Snake River. The canals, as you might expect, are also filled to capacity at this point. There will be no boating on the Snake River for a while. Oh, it's Myrna Perry. Hello, Myrna. From the Johns Hole, we get a good view of the forebay area. The pontoon bridge connecting the extension of the Greenbelt Bikeway is a total washout. Boating is not allowed because of the swift current and the massive amounts of debris being carried down by the river. Matt Taylor's Mountain, elevation 7,414-foot Taylor Mountain, serves as a backdrop. This hinterland was first surveyed by the government in 1871. The Teton Division of the Hayden Survey came through here. Topographers Henry Gannett, Gustavus Beckler, geologist Oreste St. John used Taylor Mountain as a triangulation station, only they called it Blackfoot Peak. The name doesn't survive for the peak, however the range of mountains is still known as the Blackfoot Mountains. This forebay looks like the Amazon of the West. Snake River headwaters are at the Continental Divide in Yellowstone National Park. From Lewis Lake and Heart Lake, waters flow south to first be impounded at Jackson Lake Reservoir. Continuing through Jackson Hole, the Snake River meets up with the Gros Ventre River, the Hoback River, the Grays River, the Salt River, to be impounded by the Palisades Reservoir, which is about 60 miles upstream. About 20 miles upstream, the Henry's Fork, or the North Fork of the Snake River, joins. From here, the Snake flows about 800 miles, meets the Columbia River, passes through the Columbia Gorge to debouch into the Pacific Ocean. And if it weren't for the genuine cataracts of Shoshone Falls at Twin Falls, Idaho, this would be a salmon stream. As it is, there are native trout and whitefish in this river. Hear that meadowlark? I love those songbirds. This forebay is normally placid. Now it's full of haystacks. And we suppose it won't stop anytime soon. There's still lots of snow in the mountains. As we complete our 2-mile walk around the Greenbelt, Linda Bogger, Amy Bogger, and yours truly, Rick Bogger, with our best wishes that you might stay afloat in Idaho Falls, Idaho.